This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, this is Steve Rybrook with Ledgeview Partners. And this brief video is an overview of some of the features in our CRM for oil and gas. There's another video that's much longer that goes into much more detail. This is just a video to point out a few of the key features. So with time in mind, let's rock and roll. Just a teeny bit about Ledgeview Partners. We are a business and technology consulting company. We help companies with sales, marketing, and customer service. We always start with the business side first, and then we match the correct technology with that. And those technologies revolve around CRM, customer relationship management, and also marketing automation. This video, again, is all about our oil and gas CRM that we built on top of Dynamics 365. So I thought I would just pull up a slide with some of the marketers around the country using our oil and gas CRM. Right. Quick agenda. We are going to talk about data integration, transparency, and visualization. Right? We want to be able to turn your data into information. To demonstrate that, I'm just going to focus on a couple features. I'm going to focus on accounts. We want, obviously, to get as much information as we can around our customers and prospects. Those are accounts. I'm going to show you a little bit about opportunities. Pipeline management is a big deal for most sales organizations. And then one other feature I'll touch on is equipment tracking. And then just to point out again that there is so much more. So let's get started. Just going to flip over to CRM. All right, and I think I'm just going to start out with a global search to find an account so we can talk about an account. So I'm just going to go up here to global search. I'm going to type in an account that I know has a fair amount of data. Fairview Manufacturing. So global search searches accounts, contacts, opportunities, leads, and a few other places. And so it's a nice button to use if you're in CRM just looking for something. So I'm just going to go into Fairview Manufacturing, which is one of our accounts. This happens to be a customer which is tied to our back office. And again, this is just a demo world. So just wanted to point out that this account does have a customer number. So one of the things that we did is you'll see a number of locks on some of the fields. Typically, that's going to be because this data is driven from your ERP or your accounting system. I grew up in the IT world. Data integrity is very important to me. So I kind of use the philosophy of one version of the truth. So if your back office or your accounting system is driving this data, I don't want to let someone in CRM go in here and say, no, the main phone number for Fairview Manufacturing is different than this, and let them change it. Now we have one phone number in your accounting system and another phone number in CRM. So we lock those every night. There's a data integration module that runs, and we make sure the data in your accounting system gets updated over into CRM so they match. All right, so that's a little bit about that. I'm just going to cover a couple of the screens on the account form here. So there's a lot of different tabs where you can look at information about this customer. So this is basic information about the customer, nothing special here. I'm just going to jump over to this one called amounts. You can bring over from your accounting system just about any dollar figure that you want. So this screen is very configurable. So in this example, it looks like there's some AR information, some statement information, some payment information. Just a quick look. Again, if your CRM users care about this information, we can present that to them. There's also a nice screen where you can easily see the people that you deal with at this customer, and it's easy to add contacts. That's pretty simple. But the other thing on here with this whole data integration that we talked about, we integrate with your back office, not only account information, but invoice data. So now we know what this particular customer buys. And what we do is, in this particular screen, we're looking at the most recent 12 months of data, and then we summarize it by product, and we show the product this customer bought the most of down to the product they bought the least of. We also show things on here like revenue, gross profit, how much you're making per unit, typically, which is per gallon, and when the last time this customer ordered this specific product. You can also get into the detail if you want. There's a couple of ways to do that. I'll just show you one. There's this active order history screen. And think of this as every line item on an invoice. So throughout the year, right, customers buying stuff, and you crank out an invoice, and they might have bought 3 or 4 products on an invoice. There would be 3 or 4 lines on here, and it just shows you invoice information, the product they bought, price, cost, how many they bought, the revenue, the gross profit, the profit per unit, etc. So this data actually helped drive this product summary that I showed you a minute ago. Okay, I guess one last thing before we jump off of this account screen. I'm kind of a data person, so I'm showing you a lot of data. Some people are a little bit more graphical, so we do let you show an order history dashboard, and you can analyze gross profit, revenue, or units, volume, whatever you want. You just click the tab. And what we demonstrate here, and my test data here looks the same year over year, but what we're doing is we're comparing year-to-date numbers and then a rolling 12 months. So this is always looking at 24 months, the current 12 months and the prior 12 months. And then we break down those 2 charts by product segment. So how are we doing down to, let's say, the grease level or the heavy duty motor oil or your industrial oil. So these would be all your product segments, how you group your products. This is just an example of how you could set it up, but we definitely make CRM look and feel like your business. All right, so if I took this up a notch, I'm gonna sneak over to dashboards for a minute and just show you a couple different ways to look at overall how your company's doing now that we have access to your data and we have your order history information. I can easily pull up a dashboard that says, hey, how's our company doing? And the blue bar is actual. So throughout the year, this is going to grow and grow and grow. And you can optionally set goals. And we break those down into 4 quarters. So throughout the year, if you're about 3 months into the year, you probably want to be at about this first circle. And then if you're halfway through the year, and hopefully I'm toward the end of the year and I'm just about to get to my goal here. But this is like our company goal. And if I click on this bar, we break things down by department. We work with you to figure out what your departments are. And then I can drill into that. I'm not going to get into crazy detail here, but we have a level called product category. A lot of companies break down their data by brand. So how am I doing, let's say, on Chevron or Shell or whatever brand you cover. And then within that, we talked about product segment already. So how are we doing product segments? Again, goal versus actual. If you do set goals, you'll get the circles. And then you can drill down even further to say which salespeople are helping to generate that gross profit. So kind of a cool feature. The other thing you can do instead of starting out at a company level is there's another dashboard that you can analyze things at the salesperson level. Again, with the same drill down, but the numbers start out by salesperson. And then each individual salesperson, if you're into measuring, goal setting, each salesperson would have access to this particular dashboard where they're just looking at their data. All right, switching gears now to opportunities. Big part of this system. I'm going to go into the sales area, go into opportunities, and one of the views I have is to look at my open opportunities, which is kind of cool. So this is just a list of all of the business that I'm going after. So right now it looks like I have about 32 opportunities that I'm working. So this is just a great way to do that. I'm just going to open one up real quick. Let's just grab this one right here. So some of the things that are on the opportunity that you'd want to track is what stage are they in the sales process. So you just kind of move it along from early on to hopefully the customer said yes. You're just waiting for them maybe to buy something, and then you would close this as a win. But along the way, you can keep track of the brand that you're pushing, the type of opportunity, what department is this for? So is this a lubricant opportunity? Maybe you have a fuel department, maybe you have chemicals or DEF separate. So we talk to you about your departments. And then some key information related to this opportunity. How big of an opportunity is it? What is the status of it? And when am I going to close this deal? All right, from a manager's perspective, going back to dashboards, one of the cool things that you can do is look at the data from your opportunities graphically. I think the last time I counted, we had 12 dashboards and I think 50 some charts. I'm just going to show you a couple for this high level overview. So here's a good one right here. My default dashboard shows me how many opportunities do I have in the pipeline right now, so that are open, by the month they were created, by department, and then by person. So why are these important? Well, if I see some that are created a long time ago, maybe I want to, I've got a cleanup exercise I want to do. How many opportunities do I have by department, right? That might give you a sense of how the business could be going, right? And then over here is probably the big one. How many opportunities does each of my sales team have? And so this will kind of give you a gauge on, maybe who has too many, who doesn't have enough, and who's probably just right with managing their pipeline. All right, one other one, and there's lots, but another one you can do is you can analyze the volume in your pipeline. So how many gallons are in the pipeline by department, by person, and by sales stage. And with all of these charts are cool, but they also might trigger a question. So you can interact with the data, right? You have a question, you can kind of ask it to yourself and just probe and get the answer. So I'll just use this one as an example. So one of the things you can do on just about all of the charts is put the data that created the chart next to the chart. So now I have that list I was showing you earlier of, this is not only my opportunities, but these are all the opportunities that are in the system. It looks like there's 65 of them. And this is how they're broken down by stage. But if I care about all the opportunities that are, in this stage 4, I can just click this and it'll narrow down this list to those. So now I'm a little bit more focused, right? So maybe I care about, hey, what opportunities are in stage 4, and I can just look. Well, maybe the list is still too long, so I can actually make a chart of this data on the fly. So one of the fields that's very common is the owner of the opportunity, like who's responsible for it. And that's tied to every opportunity. So I can simply go in here and say, okay, now take all those opportunities in stage 4 and give me a bar chart by owner. So, and then I can drill into this if I wanted to. So you can easily interact with the data. One other chart I just wanted to quick show you, or set of charts, is a way for a manager to keep an eye on the accuracy of their pipeline. So we call this the aged opportunity dashboard. And what it's doing is it's saying, hey, how many opportunities do I have with a bad estimated close date? Because that's important. And then how many opportunities are out there that haven't been updated in at least 30 days? So now, you really want these two charts to be blank, but if they're not, right, we can drill into the data, find out who's the culprit, right, and get this stuff cleaned up. All right, the last thing I wanted to cover was equipment tracking. So super simple here, a powerful tool, but very simple. First of all, you set up your equipment, and then you go in and you tell the system where your equipment is. So here, this particular tank, it's tank number 665-15. If I scroll down, it says, where has this tank been? So there's a history of where this tank has been. It looks like we loaned it to somebody, we rented it to somebody, then we had it in our warehouse for 6 years. And finally, we loaned it out to Fairview Manufacturing, and it's still there. The fact that there's no end date tells me that's where this piece of equipment is. You can take this one step further. This typically only applies to tanks, but you can use this equipment tracking for anything. But for tanks, many of our customers will fill in the product that the customer is putting in the tank. And then if they made some type of commitment level, you can enter that. And now, because we have your invoice data, we can tell you who's not meeting their commitment. So a pretty powerful tool, but fairly simple to manage. All right, I think that was pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this quick overview. I would say your call to action, if this is of interest to you, you could watch that longer video or reach out to Ledgeview Partners. You can reach out to me directly. Here's some contact information. There's also contact information on our website. If you want to do a deeper dive, you want to do a personal demo, you want to learn more, we are here to help. So thanks very much for listening. Have a great day.